I'm angry and I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in people I called friends, people that I trusted and thought that they shared the same values and the same goals. What am I talking about is the car club I belong to, Rockland Rodders. As the name suggests, we're in Rockland County, New York. We've had members from all around the tri-state area. In recent years, we've had issue with dwindling membership. And I didn't speak out because, much like with all kinds of, clubs, you typically don't air out your dirty laundry to the public at large. We don't have like this code of silence like MCs. It's similar in structure. And for those of you guys that may not know, you have a parliamentary style system: president, vice president, sergeant at arms, a treasurer, secretary, and, put things to votes and whatnot. Before I get into what happened, I want to address this huge misconception. The idea that young people are not interested in cars. I know a lot of people may watch this that I know face to face. And you guys are wrong, are dead wrong. Just look at all the car content online. But that would imply that there's some level of adapting. Now, I'm not here to say, in fact, I'm very traditional with maintaining cars and each generation, each era, and, even the structure of the club to continue on the same way it's been done. This club was formally founded in 1995. However, activities that this club had go way back into the 80s. We're talking the street racing scene, underground racing, things that still happen today. Now, the club, the group, the people have matured, and it's evolved into an organization that tried to help the community without forgetting that our main mission was to promote car culture. Well, how are you going to do that if you flat out refuse to engage in any kind of social media or online presence? Because I type in Rockland Rodders, and this is what I get: a couple of photos, our logo. This is our Facebook page. I don't have to be logged in to tell you that we don't have a huge activity. The excuses are all just reflections of our own inability or lack of knowledge. I get that. We have a lot of older members. Health problems are an issue. I know that more than most. The kind of crap that I've dealt with, most people won't survive. I brag about it because, you know what? It takes more than heart attacks and cancer and broken spine to keep me down. However, beginning of this year, of this season, we got a flyer saying that the club has elections and nobody's stepping up and we need young blood. Okay. I was planning on creating a new club. I wanted to create a new club for you guys, my friends. I speak to so many of you, and I think it'd be awesome to meet, to have this car show where we can put a name, a face to a screen name, and a car to that screen name, and talk and just have fun, right? I put that off because I decided, you know what? I keep preaching about local communities and all that. I'm going to step up. Of course, I have a heart attack. That was a big, it brought me down. Anybody that's had health problems knows, especially when you're young, the kind of gut punch that is. But I don't give up. I still continue towards that nomination for president. I wanted to take over this club. I wanted to turn it around because having 55 members, inactive for the most part, is not a reflection of the times or that young people don't like cars. It's a reflection of the club's inability to adapt. Club will change. Because at one point it was all about street racing. Now it's about donations and writing checks and minutes and all that kind of stuff. So if we were able to make that change, why can't we make the next progression, the next step? The struggle was finding enough members because we have to have a second vice president, a third vice president. We need to have a communications officer. In all these positions, we have bylaws. And these bylaws are basically like the laws of the club. And when you have a candidate that asks, can I get a copy of this? And to this day, I've never seen our bylaws because they're probably buried somewhere and forgotten, and it's easier to just give up. All of this was stuff I could have worked through. I found volunteers who were willing to step up and take the various positions we needed. What happens is technicalities. I'm fairly sure that the people that I spoke to, they've been members for years. I was the one that brought in many of them because we met at a different venue, a different car show, and they say, hey, you should come over to this one. They tell me that, oh, they're not members. Okay, why? Oh, well, they didn't pay. Are you sure about that? Instead, we're spending time in this stupid meeting talking about a mystery member that gave money, so you can't even account for the money that's coming in. We spent half an hour to, I don't know, maybe almost an hour talking about, oh, we got to buy t-shirts. So we're 4 t-shirts short of getting, we spent all that time for stupid t-shirts when the club has $29,000 in the bank account. That's how it's still successful. It's still generating money. But instead of focusing on, maybe we can find some way, because the plan was a lot of these guys don't have the time. I get it. I run this channel. I'm trying to get back on my feet. I'm trying to be healthy and make big changes. I know what it's like to have a life. We were willing to make some changes, change the bylaws, put it through a vote, do what we need to, maybe streamline. We don't need so many board members. It got bloated, but we can't even get to that point because we have a current board, and I hate saying it this way, but Jesus, it's like the typical boomer attitude. We had our fun. Screw you, next generation, because we want something else. And you know what? The speculations, and there are accusations. 29 grand is a lot of freaking money to be in a bank account. I don't think it's going to go into anybody's pocket. However, the way this club has been run in the last couple of years has been an extension of the Elks Lodge, another organization that nobody has any interest in joining. The Elks, the Rotary. Who joins that? How many young people join those things? Yeah, exactly. But instead, we do events tied to the Elks. We are promoting other clubs' events, and we have a president that may or may not be a board member of that Elks Lodge. Yeah. To me, it's an insult. I would have kept my mouth shut, just take over and do what needs to be done for the benefit of, the next generation. I spoke to so many young kids that are into cars. Yeah, they don't got money to do huge modifications or whatever, but putting in an intake in the kid's Infiniti or a guy with a, RX-7, welcome them in. The whole argument is like, oh, they don't like the same cars. It's not the same. Well, how are you going to expose them to the older cars if they only ever see them at this car show where they're not welcomed? I'm talking to people. I talk to people that were willing to donate huge amounts to get this club to go national. I had people that wanted to start up in Myrtle Beach. Myrtle Beach, if you know anything about it, has a big biker scene, and a lot of the customness, if you want to call it that, of the car scene is Myrtle Beach, Boston, Chicago, Texas. And it comes down to stupid technicalities because this board wanted the club to die. They even made t-shirts with our logo, the little hot rod and Rockland Rodders, with the tagline, "It's been a great ride," past tense. And again, all this, I would have shut up. I even had the president, I tried to come up with some creative solution to get past the fact that we needed one extra person. One. Instead of saying, no, we can't do that. Or hell, even if he thinks that I'm being a smart ass, you don't start disrespecting and insulting the potentially next president in an open meeting. And again, I was going to keep my mouth shut. When the guy that I managed to talk into, the guy's busy, he's working, man. He ain't rich. Not like some of these guys that, got millions. He's a working man, honest and, hardworking. And he says, fine, I'll take on the role as VP or sergeant at arms. And instead, you get somebody, not going to name names. If you're a part of the club, you'll know. And you start insulting my friend to the point where you're calling him out because he's not doing enough. What are you assholes doing other than killing the club? And you get this man that asks his wife to put in time, to volunteer, to sit out in the sun and collect stupid money for 50-50 tickets for the club that she's not even a member of, that you won't even say that, no, she's not a member. She does the work, but it's okay. Those of you guys that know, you guys remember Roseanne. She put in so much work as secretary, and this board just walked right over her until she said, screw it, I'm done. And that's what happened with my friend. He gets up and he says, I'm out of here. Now I have a choice. Choice is I can try to smooth it over with the board and then go outside and talk to him and all that. Or I can stand up and walk out with my friend. Because you know what? I am a million times more loyal to him than any of you fucks. I go to this stupid meeting, Sergeant at Arms. The first thing he says to me is, well, you didn't answer my email. You have my phone number, right? No. And what is this about? What size t-shirt do you fucking wear? Are you goddamn kidding me? The club is dying. We're trying to figure out the succession, and the stupid t-shirts are what you give a right. Forget about that. If you have a friend that at 42 had a heart attack, maybe the first question might not be, hey, why didn't you answer your email so I can get your stupid t-shirt size? It should be, how are you doing? You still alive? That is now the legacy of the Rockland Rodders. Now, I'll tell you right now, these t-shirts, right now, they're rags. This is the last time you will see me wearing one of these things, because the way you treated, okay, me, I can tolerate a lot. When you're openly disrespecting one of my friends, let this board be the last of the Rockland Rodders, a club that has so many ties and did so much, yet in the end was doing the exact same corporate bullshit PR kind of donations that frickin' Chase Manhattan and Bank of New York and all these other corporate bank institutions, they do it. Let's collect the cans for the food drive, where most of the stuff gets thrown out. But we feel good and we get that pat on the goddamn back. How about helping? I tried getting some of that money to go pay for a veteran, a homeless veteran, find him a place to stay for a couple of months, buy him a suit, and set him up with an interview. Get the guys back, on his feet. What do you think happened with that suggestion? Right in the trash. No, we're not doing that. No, we're going to do the same corporate crap. How about teaching young kids how to drive stick? Use some of that money. We're not going to use our cars. Let's rent a car. There's plenty of guys that will rent on, a stick shift car. Let's teach young kids how to drive a stick. How about just a track day? Let's go to a track day and take our old cars. And just for the fun of it, we're not doing it for time, but hey, you know what? There's young kids at those track days, and they get to see, a cool car doing, screeching its tires and whatnot. But no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do anything that isn't something that might help in the Elks Lodge career progression. Because you know what, old man? We know what your plan is. We know what you're trying to do. You want to run for president, your stupid little Elks Lodge, your stupid little hats, and whatever the hell you people do. Oh, I'm going to take this big chunk of money in our account, and rather than use it for spreading car culture and doing what this club was supposed to do, no, you want to go there and get, ooh, look at me. Look at what I'm doing. Bringing somebody else's money, but taking the credit for it. You disgust me. It's hard not to be angered so much to where I take every single freaking trophy from this club and just throw it on the trash. But you know what? That was a lot of work that I put in as well. Other people put in as well. And it's just a shame that the current board had no idea what to do with it. And their corruption and their cowardness ends something that's been a staple of this county for decades. The thing is that I know many other clubs that are going through the exact same thing. In fact, some clubs are legitimately closing down because they didn't have money. Yet, we had the funding. We had the ability. You just didn't want this to go on. And that's why boomers are a joke. In the online world and online space, it's okay, boomer. Keep up living up to that reputation. Now, as far as the future, what's going to happen, I don't know. I am still working on a year, like a once a year kind of gathering. That is still in the works. I wanted to do it this year, but obviously I diverted my efforts to the Rockland Rodders. A lot of good that did. And that's another thing that angers me. I know there's a lot of you guys out there that would have loved basically to get together. Because it's almost like this channel, what we're doing here, is flying in the face of everything they tell us, that online is not whatever. Go out and touch some grass and it's not real, when everything we do here is real. Everybody that I speak to is a real human, normal. And we could have had that weekend. I don't know if there's going to be a world war by the time next year. I don't know what the economy is going to be like. People might not be able to afford food, much less drive 100 miles, 200 miles, or wherever they're from. This may have been the last chance, but we're still going to try. I'm still going to try and make this happen because you guys deserve it. And for anybody, any rodder out there that's left orphan, maybe we'll start a new version. I know there's going to be people that are pissed off, and you know what? I don't care. This had to be said. The attitude, not to mention, insulting my mother, who's, taking her time out of her job and whatever to help this club. Maybe some things are left better off fading into the distance. I'm just hoping that that's not the case for American culture in general and our country and everything else. I'm Alex. This is Rip Roaring Garage. And oil is thicker than blood doesn't apply to everybody.